Yes, good morning, Isabel. You can see the clock tower of Wakefield Town Hall behind me, and it's one of a number of locations around the country, as you say, which will be lit up in purple on Monday night in support of the WASPI women. Now, the roots of this campaign go back to 1995, when the government decided to equalise the pension age for men and women at 65 years old. And the WASPI women, the Women Against State Pension Injustice, say that they weren't properly informed of that. Now, the government's ombudsman, the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman, has been looking into this, and they ruled in July at the end of their Stage 1 investigation that between 1995 and 2004 the government had informed people and done everything correctly, but there were issues in 2005-06 in terms of not targeting the women who would be affected by these changes and also not writing to them quickly enough. And the women who've been affected, these WASPI women as they're known, say that meant they couldn't plan for their retirement and make sure they have enough money ahead put aside for them. And one of those women who has been impacted by this and suffered is Linda Fawcett, and she told me what all this has meant to her. And I'm here with Linda Fawcett, who is one of the WASPI women. Linda, tell me a bit about your experience. What's happened in your life because of these WASPI these changes?
Well, I did leave school at 15, and I was only just 15 when I left school. And I left school on the Friday and started work on the Monday. My mother made sure that I had a job to go to. And I've worked all my life, albeit after having children part-time. I've looked after my parents that were elderly and ill, grandchildren, kept a house going, and still managed to have a decent working life too. And
you're retired now. What difference does this business with the pension age mean to you? Has it impacted on your life?
Well, yeah, for me it's the 2011 one that really was the nail in the coffin for me. I would have been, 57 when that was announced that we'd got on top of the 4 years and 6 months, 4 years and 8 months, we were now going to have to wait another 18 months on top of that. So to find that out when you're 57 and when you've got sort of plans for finishing around 64 and a half years of age, and then to find out you've got a little bit extra on top of that, it's soul destroying.
And what was it that was most soul destroying to you? Was it the having to work longer? Was it that you wouldn't have time to save up to give yourself a better pension? What was it that bothered you the most?
Well, when I left school, I did have a sort of job in a shop for a few months, and then I managed to get an apprenticeship. But the problem was, in the 70s, when I were working full-time, women weren't allowed to join pension schemes. Simply for the fact you were a woman. So I have no other income other than my state pension, and obviously a husband that's very supportive. And really, if it wasn't for his private pensions, we would really be struggling.
And what would you like to see happen now? Because obviously the government's saying that the Ombudsman's process is going on, and they've said that they're, for most of the time that they followed the rules, but they didn't do a good enough job at targeting women like yourself and contacting you in sort of 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't get all the back pay that you would have got. You're going to get compensation. That's not going to be the same amount, is it?
I think compensation is possibly the wrong word to look at it in that way. I don't think we'll ever get anything like we've lost back. But I do think if we come to some sort of agreement and maybe backdated it to a 65th birthday, that would be a lot fairer. For instance, Kath and I are old school friends. We were in the same year at school, but because she was born 6 months before me, she's had her pension over a year before I got mine, and it doesn't seem to make any sense at all to me.
And how do you feel about that? You sound like you feel hard done by, unfair.
Yeah, I do feel hard done by, because we've had the equal amount of years to work. We both left school at the same time, although Kath did stay on for an extra year, but that was her choice. I wanted to leave. But we've had the same amount of years available to us to work. But yet I've been penalised because I was one of the younger ones in that year.
And Linda, what does it mean to you that Wakefield Council and other councils around the country are going to light up? Does it give you a sense of hope?
I think it's absolutely wonderful that we're being backed by these councils, because it's been a long, hard slog to get to this stage. We've done a lot of fundraising, we've done a lot of campaigning, we've had leaflets, and the sad thing is that women are still coming to us and saying, well, actually, I didn't know about this, you know.
So, Kevin, we were hearing there then that's been a long, hard slog for this campaign. What has been the broad support, though?
Well, Isabel, the leader of Wakefield Council, Denise Jeffries, has said that women are facing hardships here, and she will continue to lobby the government for a change on this. We have heard from the Department for Work and Pensions, and they said the government decided over 25 years ago that it was going to make the state pension age the same for men and women, as a long overdue move to gender equality. And the policy of raising in line with life expectancy has been the policy of successive administrations over many years. But the campaign will definitely continue from the WASPI women. They are very determined to try and get these changes, not only for themselves but for the other women who've been affected by this.